blog post of the controversy over the weekend. We're going to talk about character progression and tech issues, and also acknowledging community feedback. And with the main focus today is going to be, is the game imploding? Is it on fire? Is it burning to the ground? Reddit would let you think so. Is that what do you guys think? We're going to have this conversation with Reminex. Boy, so mysterious. And Valley Flying.
Darth Reminex.
So dark. So dark.
Sith Lord.
Okay, so give us the backstory of how we got to where we are today, and as far as why did we get an outrage? Why did we get these massive downvotes in the store? Why did it lead to this post? Is the net result good? Is the game healthy? Pick anything. Talk about it, Reminex.
Yeah, so I think the problem we have is realistically, it probably felt bad with RTA. It felt like we weren't being listened to. And, we came a year ago, we had that fixed MSF movement, and we learned a lot of things, and we got a lot of communication. And it felt like after the ISO test, when they listened to us, it was widely viewed as a success by the community. And I feel like, it was the natural downturn after Symbiotes came out, and kind of these new teams. Skilletary was a disappointment. The Skill military team was not performing as advertised, and people felt bad. And then RTA was like, after being promised less low quality screen time, we get RTA in its format, and I think people just were like, done. It was just too much of rewards being locked behind a game mode that nobody cared about, and it just felt like they were ignoring some of their promises. And then they gated. Then they put the on the Doom raid requires 6 red stars, ISO level 3, and so everybody was like, what? Mm-hmm. 6 red stars. So it felt like there just wasn't a path to the end game. We couldn't figure out how to get from past gear tier 12, and even ABCs are still a lock 3 years down the road. And there was no path to the end game for a lot of players, and it just became a frustration point. We hit bottleneck after bottleneck after bottleneck, bug after bug after bug, and only so much of it could we forgive from COVID. And so a lot of it came down to, after the holidays, we were waiting for something significant, and we never got it.
Yeah. And so Valley, where do you see like the new players in all of this right now, in this situation that we're talking about in these posts? I mean, was there any relief to them or any help to them in this post?
I mean, we talked about some of the things, getting rid of cheating, getting rid of bugs is always good. More training mats, removing some of these bottlenecks is always good. But orange gear, that's not something that new and mid-game players are really feeling the squeeze on until later on. Military skill, reworking that, good. That's a good sign that they're listening to some of the community. But that's not an early game team. That's a war team. New players, mid-game players, not really focused on, end game teams like this. That 2 of the members you can't even get stars for. The gold star. Or so, not a lot of relief for them. Not a way of catch-up mechanics, getting more shards, getting more blue gear, getting more purple gear for characters for newer players to catch up, and just like all of us been saying, no real clear path of progression for someone. Where do I start? Where do I go from here? And we not addressed any of these blog posts really.
Okay, yeah, I feel like this blog post was from 3 weeks ago. And it was they picked and they changed the conversation to suit their needs. And they called it acknowledging community feedback. And when this post came out, we all got together and talked about the glaring omissions on this post. And no surprise that all of those things that were omitted 3 weeks ago are still omitted today. And so the question is this a net positive? And I have to say the answer is yes. I think that this is even though we didn't get everything, I think we're getting some modest things. There's still some horrible things, and I want to take this conversation into it's kind of strange because I talked to a lot of people, right? And everybody seems to have a different issue, whether it's purple gear or orange gear or gold or training materials or gear 13s or gear 15s. It's like, and I want to be very red stars is universal though. I just want to say. Everybody's upset about red stars, but like all those other issues. So I think what bothers me is stuff that everybody's affected by. Game modes, arena bugs, RTA, is it fun? Is Sim Blitz fair? And I kind of feel like some of that was addressed in here. It seems like there's this hyper focus on bottlenecks, which I get, but it seems like everybody's getting hit in different spots on bottlenecks. So where does that take you, Remedex, as far as bugs, overall health of the game, fun, taking bottlenecks out of the question, let's say?
So I guess my problem is I'm having some degree of fun because I'm able to use my roster against like the Doom Raid, and I'm able to challenge the end game content, and I'm able to use my roster in a significant, meaningful way. And I feel like, looking at, kind of from the perspective that, like, do I think that that RTA is fun? Oh heck no. I almost used a word that I had to, no. But I mean, it's I did it right this time.
Good job, man.
I did it right this time. Check out Valley's video. I didn't quite get that one.
He missed it. That's pretty funny.
So that does take up a little bit of time from your day, because between the war attacks you have to get in, my wife looks at me and she's like, if you weren't doing this for a living, I don't know how. I'm thinking about how much time you spent on the phone. She goes, there is a lot of time required to spend inside this game. There really is. I mean, and I think if you want to progress, and I just feel like they missed some of the bigger feedback. There's just largely good stuff.
Yeah, it's largely good. Yeah.
But they missed some of the more significant. I think that's the sticking point for a lot of the community. I'll be honest.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. You say missed. It seems like from our previous discussion, they purposely omitted or purposely didn't address a lot of these things. It wasn't like, oh, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what the community wants. It's they purposely did not include these things. So
they very much controlled.
They're still profitable.
They very much controlled and changed the conversation by stating their objectives 3 weeks ago. And even though we said no, that's not it. And I think the most glaring thing about that post is on Reddit. They acknowledging community feedback. And the first response to it, which has 1,000 upvotes, is solely about red stars. So it feels like they attempted to change the conversation, and I'm unwilling to let them do that when the main issue is still red stars, and they just ignored that. And that's not. But I want to, as far as this post from 2 days ago from Friday, there's nothing I can criticize in the post except for they said they were going to remove Ravager Stitcher from the War Store, and they didn't. You know what I mean? They just didn't. But it was more about the stuff that wasn't there. And so I guess is this something worth, should we just move forward? And what's the overall health of the game? Because, we've looked at some data points that have been provided to us that we can't really share, but because, other developers have access to tools. They pay huge subscriptions to these App Annie and Sensor Tower. I have access to the public data, but, they've shared with us data points on the game. Other developers have on Marvel Strike Force, and I hate to say that the game looks good and healthy. Go for it. Tell me, because we both look at the same charts.
Yeah, it's definitely profitable, and overall, and that's, I guess the question is that the overall indicator of how healthy a game is, right? Is
right.
Profitability, and maintaining that is going to be appealing to your player base, making sure new people are downloading it, and having a reasonable access to something that you can monetize. But it's the impact that we had by being disgruntled was minimal.
Okay,
and
so I want to talk about that. Okay, so right here we've got data from February. 7 million in the Google Play and 8 million in the iTunes stores, 15 million, which is record numbers from the data I've seen from, and it's pretty much gone straight up since COVID. It's been on the upswing, huge. It looked like it peaked in the month of October with symbiotes, and we all saw that too. So this is kind of an interesting idea. Like I know that there's a limited number of people that watch YouTube videos and Twitch and Reddit compared to, let's say, the 600 active daily users that play this game. And do you think that we're making a difference? Do you think the conversation? Do you think the complaining valley is making a difference? Do you think downvoting the store? Do you think a boycott would help? Where do you think on that?
As far as the first question of us making a difference, I think there are some good things that have happened. We've got some training material ease. We've gotten bugs addressed that we previously could not even get addressed from the devs. So there are some good changes. As far as still having fun, I'm still having fun. I mean, there's things that I want changed, but yeah, I think the complaining is making a difference. And I'm not sure if there's enough of the community to band together to do a spending strike or a review bomb that will really affect things. You know, you mentioned that people were during the FX MSF movement, the profits go straight up.
Yeah.
You know, people are talking about boycotting the game, but unfortunately, there's a lot of other players that are not on YouTube, not on Reddit,
or that even
Twitch
speak English. I mean, what percentage of play speaks English?
Yes.
I mean, we don't even know.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's who knows? I don't know that they're engaging with us or Reddit or YouTube or Twitch at all. There's other communities out there, right?
Yeah, so I don't know how much incentive they have to change these things like red stars and battle pass and stuff that we don't like, but are very profitable for them, as we can see by the numbers. You know, the complaining started mid-January. You said February is a record month for them. I'm not sure if that affected their profits at all, but we did get some good things. I don't know if it was all negative or if it had zero effect on it.
Well, I guess my thing is, so if they don't think it has an effect because they know it doesn't have an effect, they're still talking to us and trying to gauge. I feel like they're still trying to get some sort of pulse of the community. So I think that's kind of a big deal. I feel the communication is still on par, and I don't want to necessarily, say that they're not listening when they're clearly trying to understand what they're trying to understand. Now, of course, they're going to be companies are profit driven. I'm not going to make that excuse for Red Stars too much longer, because it's really kind of a miss, because it's frustration at its worst, but doesn't mean they stop selling Red Stars, right? So knowing that we don't have that type of influence or that impact, and then a boycott or review bombing, all these things probably don't really work. The idea that they're still coming to the table trying to make things right, at least to an extent, because they are directing the conversation, like Mobile Gamer said. I still feel like it honestly could get worse if they weren't communicating this. And so, I mean, for me, it's kind of a sad state of affairs when you realize what little influence your opinions or your knowledge or your really have on the game. I'm sorry for Dad Bros still. Bye.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, let's just back up. A year ago, Fix MSF, right? The top alliances, the guys that were spending $5,000 a month plus, all banded together and orchestrated Fix MSF boycott, and sales went up. I mean, that's what happened. Sales went up. So what I've been told, and I believe this to be true, is that the reviews in the store matter. Now, I'm not telling anybody what to review the store at. I currently have the game at a 2-star rating. That's my personal feeling. And I encourage everybody that's watching to go and review the game what you think it is, because I think that's the point, is it's your opinion. Now, that number absolutely does matter, because very few people actually review the store, and the numbers of people that you and I are us three are coming in contact actually can impact the rating in the store, which impacts visibility for new players, and then the developers will respond. I know they care about this, is what I'm trying to say. This number actually matters, and I think the question is, did we get enough from the post the other day? I mean, it was largely positive, but what is the stipulations going forward that we actually want to see change? I know what I want, but if it's different what other people want. So I start with you, Valley. What do you want from all of this?
The two big issues for me personally are Red Stars and Real Time Arena. We got some changes to Real Time Arena, indicated the blog post after yesterday's blog post, not the one on Friday, but some changes coming in season 4 that look promising. So we may have that already. But Red Stars. I think the complaint of Red Stars has been there for a while. What really prompted it was these Doom raids, having that as have a 6-star, which is very difficult to obtain, as the recommended character for Doom raids. So I would like Red Stars addressed a little bit, and then obviously catch-up mechanics. So those are my 3 big things. That's what I would like to see them do more.
And then what do you got, Reminix?
I mean, Red Stars are a huge mechanic because it's just that loot box. I feel like they're not, when we got the promotion credits, we used to be able to promote characters when they came out in the Red Stars, and then they delayed it because they were like, well, we're going to give you better odds and a better curve, but we're going to make it so you have to wait to promote it. I don't know that they realize the impact is sometimes you just don't go for a team if you don't get the right Red Stars on characters. And so I feel like it's a frustration mechanic that you have to wait so long for it to be in a promotion store, because I guess that they want to sell you Red Stars over the course of the 7 or whatever days they're available in the shop. And
right.
I feel like another thing that I really want to see is I don't think the new player experience is quite right. It isn't. There isn't a guided path to progression, because the fact that a new player can spend thousands of dollars and not really get to the end game is got to be frustrating. And you gotta wonder if those people that buy those first premium orb offers, cough me, and that spend a few $100s trying to get premium orbs when they first come to the game. I think I've told you guys that story. Like when I first joined the game. Yeah, there just wasn't a really like evident way to kind of get around it, and so we really don't have that influence where we can guide people. And I don't even feel like I have enough information to tell people when they start what to go for. And so that feels like a failure on my part as a content creator. Is I can't give people the right advice to help them progress when they first launch Marvel Strike Force. And so that really, I mean, do you recommend this to your friends? And I kind of want to be.
I actually like this game. I think it's a lot of fun. But as far as what to do, it seems a little overwhelming, right? And I think that a journey's guide, or at least a pathway on legendaries that's in game. It seems to me that it's extremely frustrating that if you're a new player and you want to get Phoenix, how do you do that? How is that? There's nothing in game that explains that until the week of, and then you're already behind. So it's not, there needs to be some sort of explanation on how that works, and I don't think that's provided.
No, and like some of these legendaries that are still gated behind this content. I mean, I can't imagine they're making a ton of money off of Star-Lord or Magneto. I could be wrong, but these are things that would impact people early on in the game, and give them a path, let them select one.
Yeah.
To kind of go for, and like teach them how to unlock that, and say, here, go for this character, and you'll need these guys. These are their farm spots. Something along those lines. It's just a big miss. And then being able to take a character. We were talking about this before. I don't know what design team came up with Gear 14, but oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of strange the way that works. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder to get someone to 13 than it is to 14. It's weird how the
and there's no stats in going to 13. All the stats pop at 14, and there's no stats at 13 at all. So yeah. I think I have 3 very specific things that I think that would go a long way for the community. One is doubling the amount of silver promotion credits that we get a month. I think the problem with Red Stars is agency and silver promotion credits. I don't see 5 Red Star characters breaking the game. They're kind of the normal. I don't know why we should have at least a way of doing that easily. It's also going to be in Scopely's best interest, because, like you said, if I don't get 4, if I only get 2 or 3 stars on a character, can I use the team? A 4 red, 4 gold character is probably not useful to me as a player. Yeah. And if they're not giving me access, they're giving me half of an access, 70, 80 silver promotion credits a month to go. That's not enough for a full character to go from 4 to 5. That's half of a character. And that's not enough. So 150 minimum. Second thing is, I don't see the point of RTA being player versus player at all. In its current form, and they're welcome. I'm glad that they're changing it. I'm glad they're modifying it. Maybe it'll be a better version. But the way that I see player versus because it is player versus player, there's problems with matchmaking. So they can fix matchmaking. They've tried. It's still a problem, right? player. If it's not player versus player, then there's no matchmaking problems. And secondly, it just creates lag. And waiting 150 seconds or whatever it is for them to load in. I don't for me just to push auto and wait for them to push auto. I'm sitting there staring at my phone after I went through that horrible loading screen. I don't see the point. If they're gonna keep if they're gonna keep RTA in the way it is, I don't understand the reason why it needs to be PvP at all. I understand that they spent all that time making it that way. It didn't work. Maybe they just need to move on. And then thirdly, I've never said this before, but the level of bugs on a weekly basis just is unacceptable for expensive as this game is. It's laughable. Like every day, the server resets and there's a pack titled wrong or there's wrong. We're picking on little things. These are the little things because I tell you this, if you make sure the little things are taken care of, the big things some are always taken care of, right? You know what I mean? If you're stickler on the little things, the big things, that's the way it works in life. I had a boss that was the stickler on the little things, and guess what? He never had to worry about the big things. Just making sure that the packs are not labeled tech when they're mutant. It seems like a simple thing, but don't you think like Thor's hammer's throw wouldn't exist if there was somebody focusing on the little issues? The big issues wouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just bug fixes, silver promotion credits, and the unnecessariness. Is that a word?
Yes.
PvP.
It's now a new word.
It's unfoundable. But I don't get why it has. If it's Blitz 2.0, then why are we playing against other people if we're just gonna sit there, push auto, and wait for them to load in and lag and bad matchmaking? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. At the end of the day, I think the game's in a good place. The numbers do reflect that. I think that I'm even though I'm glad they're communicating with us. I think things are going in the right direction, and I think it's good to ask for a little bit more. And I think the game's going to go on. Valley, you asked me about this. The game is negative, and what did I say to you? I said, you asked me a question. It's like the game is so negative right now. What do you think is going to happen with the game? And, I said, I saw two other games have it more negative than it is here, and both those games rebounded. You know why? Because too much money is at stake. Like it will fit. There's too much money at stake. This game is I think this is Scopely's biggest game. It's their big.
Probably
it's behind. It's just behind their what is it?
Looney Tunes?
No. It's behind their word. Like they have another like something.
They have like Word with Friends or something like that, right?
Something. But this is their second.
Yeah, this is a big deal to them. Like I don't think they're gonna let this game is not going anywhere. Things are going to work out, and because there's too much money at stake. This game is wildly profitable, and that's the reason why I'm frustrated with bugs. If they're, I just understand how they can take in $15 million a month in revenue, and we just have bugs constantly, and I don't feel like the things that they fix in the blog post should even be applauded at all. It's just like that should be thanks for doing your job. I hate to say that.
I mean, you can say that. However, the fact that there could so let's talk about other games because I think it's important. I think there's a big miss about bug visibility, and I talked about that not so long ago. And you guys saw me talk about that in other conversations that we've had, where it was like there needs to be a space where players can see what bugs are in so they don't encounter them, because that Thor's like hammer throw, that isn't something that we should have to face on a daily basis because you can't fix it. You just figure it out. If you can't fix it, please make it so that we don't have to overcome a bug to complete an objective. Think about that. If people built that Wave 1 team using Thor to overcome those Avengers nodes, make it so they can click a button, complete it, so they're not waiting and being frustrated because they can't complete it under normal circumstances. You're causing your customer service department to get flooded with requests for refunds on energy. It is a big miss that you guys haven't found a centralized location to address bugs like this that are occurring and have people submit feedback. It is just either and this is the thing, right? Is your philosophy it's okay to pay to overcome bugs? I guess not.
Or is their philosophy is just so you'll let the community find the bugs and they'll incrementally fix them, and they're not they push everything out with with or without bugs. They don't know. It's not been tested, and I just think it's a flawed system. It feels like that is their procedure and their process, and it's. I mean, right now I'm experiencing a bug several times a week with astonishing X-Men in raids where it just freezes and I get locked, and I can't. I don't know what it is.
You didn't update your stream deck in a year, so that could be a user
No. In game it freezes. I send them the clips, but it's happening a couple times a week. Astonishing.
It happened to me at first, but I haven't had it happen again.
It's not my stream deck. Get out of here.
I don't think it's the stream deck. I think it's just your lack of updating things is what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's my. We don't have to get into that. All right.
Anyway,
we're in boomer tech support, boy.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna for now I'm gonna leave my rating at 2 stars. Where are you at with your rating, and what do you think, Reminix? I'm just curious.
I've been at about a 2-star rating for a while. I'm almost brought it to back to 3 when so there's some good stuff that came out, right? There's some good stuff, but I feel like they still missed enough, and they're still got to go back to it was interesting because you're right. You can't let them seize this conversation and ignore some of the community feedback, and I think that's important. I think that's a big miss otherwise.
Where are you at, Valley?
Still a 2. I went back and changed it because I was like, I don't know if it's a 1, but so this blog post hasn't inspired me to go back and change it again.
Yeah, I hate to say this, and I know there's people that are more outraged than I am, but this blog post did not really change much for me. I feel exactly the same. I think it's a good game. I think it's fun. I enjoy the game. I love the game, but if they think that everything's fine and they stop fixing things that need to be fixed, that's not okay either. So I kind of feel like it needs to. I think people need to be vocal. I'm glad that they listen. They're partially listening, engaging us at least. All right. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, that was good stuff, man. I definitely. I'm hoping they, with like I said, the anniversary coming up. I'm hoping they're like, maybe this. I don't know. Maybe they think the Strike Pass is going to solve some of the. I don't know. Maybe
Strike Pass was a miss, man. There's nobody wants a second Battle Pass. Come on, get out of here.
The second one.
Get out of here.
It's got a new name. It's called Dailies 2.0.
I don't get it, man. I don't get that. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think you want to say before you go, Valley?
This is savable. This game is savable. It's still profitable, so I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So.
The game is not dying.
Bring back more fun. More fun is what we need.
The game is doing very well. Anyways, guess what time it is?
Time for the giveaway.
It's time for the giveaway.
Oh my God!
I really hope you like this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you'll be getting for free in your account an 8 Red Star Cerebro.
Oh, I love 8-star Cerebro, dude.
Poor guy. Poor guy. I know that Zeke's and Cerebro on the front lines in the messenger, and anyways, I really appreciate the work they do, even though I think it's a thankless job in some ways. So thank you, but boy, you know who else I want to thank? Because speaking of thankless jobs, guild leaders and guild captains. My God, what a thankless job! Oh my God, thank your guild leader today. That is a hard work, right? If you guys, I can't do it, man. I think it's anyways. All right, head over to Valley Flying's channel. We had I think it was a little more salty video over there on some different topics, and go check that out. All right, guys, bye for now.
Woo!
Yeah.
No cussing, Reminax.
Hey, I did it correctly this time. You gotta do it before you swear, Reminax.
That's awesome. This is fucking great.
Oh, you missed it. You missed it.